Hi, welcome! Today we are hopefully finishing Shadow the Hedgehog, assuming the game doesn't decide to be a pain in the butt, which it might be. But as usual, we have actually I've gone through a few of the stages on my own time, since we already saw Westopolis, and we have definitely seen we've definitely seen Westopolis enough, and we also went through Lethal Highway the previous time for the hero path, so it'd be the same thing again. So I did go through those on my own time, meaning we are actually starting from everyone's favorite cutscene. I'm actually gonna let it play just because it's iconic.
Claims to have knowledge of my past.
Hi, Nicole.
He claims that I had promised to deliver the 7 Chaos Emeralds to him. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's the only one I can trust for clues about my past. Sonic and I were able to destroy the alien's attack craft. Having cornered Black Doom, he summoned an enormous flying monster. Sonic and I finished it off, and I got the 3rd Chaos Emerald. Where did you go, Black Doom? I won't let you get away. Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald? Isn't that Tails?
Look at that! It's Eggman's theme park. He made it out of the rings he's taken from around the world. I've got to get those rings back.
A Chaos Emerald. This is just too easy. Guess it's my lucky day.
I know I've been skipping cutscenes that we've already seen in this playthrough, but come on, we have to let that one play at least. Hi Peachy, welcome to the stream. I do feel like in general, I've definitely warmed up a lot to this game playing through it again. Maybe because I'm like 20 years older and a lot more patient than I was when this game came out. Was it actually 2004 or was it 2005? I can't remember. I want to say 2005, but either way, Sonic Rush I think was like around the same time. I think it might have been the same day actually. I don't know if I've actually talked about this, I think I have, but one cool feature in this game is you can actually play as the other characters as a second player. So if you hook up another controller, you can literally just control, like, the partner character. Obviously some, like Doom's Eye, you can't really move around very much. But yeah, each character does have, like, a moveset. In some cases, they're actually really good, and in some cases better than, like, what you get in Sonic Heroes, weirdly enough. Yeah, this is basically pre-Eggman Land, but less torturous, to be fair. And I say that as someone who swears by Eggman Land as being overhated, actually. I actually really like that stage in Unleashed. I hate how difficult it is at parts. It doesn't work in the PS2 version, that's really weird. But hi AC, welcome. Hope everyone's having an alright day. I also don't think you can play as Eggman, so I think it's Eggman and Doom's Eye that are the exceptions. But beyond that, you can play as most characters, including one we'll be seeing in like 20 minutes from now. That is very fascinating that you're able to play this character. I do like how they have the traditional... Okay, that was almost a disaster. I do like how they have the little circus riff in here, which would actually be the second time in the franchise this has come up. First time being, it's weird saying original, cause it's technically not the original, but like, game original, casino, whatever. I don't know what the name of that stage is. Circus music is what the inside of my head sounds like. Yeah, that's honestly a mood, to be honest. 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 Yeah, that's honestly a Hello, Mario. Welcome. We're just getting started, actually. Going through this stage. Again, I do like the mission structure. Again, it's basically like if every stage has, like, a mandatory chaotics mode, basically, from Sonic, Heroes, in a way. So in a way, it's almost kind of like, I don't mind it too much, but I've also warmed up to Heroes a lot. In that case, I actually do have a lot of nostalgia, though, for Heroes. This game I have less nostalgia for, but is one that I have gone back and forth on. I feel like as a kid, I, like, didn't really enjoy it just because the game was so edgy. Quote-unquote edgy, but I was also like, how old would I have been? Like 10 at the time? It was like super edgy for me at the time. It's like, relatively speaking, this game was edgy, but it's a very relative term there. Again, I was like raised as a good Christian kid who wouldn't even say damn. Now I say much worse words on a regular basis, so again, I try to keep them off stream for the most part, just because, demonetization, not that I'm monetizing YouTube, but, you know, if I ever get to that point, I probably won't swear a ton just for that reason. It's like a weird situation where, like, my online persona and my actual, like, how I act in real life aren't too different, but I do, like, hold back a little bit when I'm on stream just because things are on permanent record in a way. And again, it's like I could definitely get in trouble if I, like, start swearing a bunch in terms of, like, site rules. Alrighty then, making good time for this stage. I say as we're 5 minutes in, but that is good time for this stage, relatively speaking. That sucks. But again, this game is actually not that mean. You actually keep your rings if you lose them, which is lovely, because what that means is, you only have, like, a problem if you end up actually getting hit, like, knocked off the stage, or falling off the stage. Getting hit by regular enemies is not a big deal, which makes the ring collecting not that bad, actually. It makes it relatively, chill, compared to, like, every other game that has, like, a collect rings objective. So yeah, I'm totally okay with this, to be honest. As far as, like, hero missions go, this is not as painful as what we will be seeing in a little bit. I've been really hyping up this mission as painful. I hope I'm not overhyping it, actually. Like, if I get through it, like, miraculously because of how much I've been complaining about it, I'll take it. But the stage is, like, notoriously rude, so I'm not counting my, my eggs before they hatch there. I can't see, so that's great. You can actually go through the flaming rings to get extra rings, but I literally can't see. So, that was not doable, unfortunately.
I've never seen a vulcanized ceramic used for this sort of thing before.
So weird hearing Amy Pallant as Tails. It is, interesting going back to the older voice cast. Again, I still think I would say Jason Griffith is my favorite Shadow, and maybe my favorite Sonic, too. With Roger Craig Smith, I feel like his performances are very, like, hit or miss, but it's also, like, voice direction. Like, there's no consistent voice for this current version of Sonic, because, like, you know, in Frontiers, he basically sounds just like a degree of separation off from, like, Chris Redfield in terms of, like, vocal tone, which for Sonic feels a little bit jarring, in my opinion. Like, for Sonic to have that deep of a voice. Like, to be totally honest. But again, that's more of a voice direction issue. And again, Jason Griffith also has, like, really rough performances too. Like, I would almost say this is kind of one, for Sonic specifically. But especially, like, by just, like, Secret Rings onwards, is kind of when he really hits a stride. It was literally a thing where he actually went by a pseudonym, in Secret Rings for some reason. I have no clue why. But for the longest time, maybe because I was a kid who did not, like, Google things very much, but I wasn't even, like, entirely convinced it was Jason Griffith at first. I almost thought it was someone different because of how, like, much more range Sonic had in Shadow, or had in Secret Rings, compared to, like, all of the 4Kids era dubs at that point. Again, I count this as having like the 4Kids direction more so than like the Secret Rings direction. Well, that was like sort of like unfortunate there, but we got it. That was probably a B rank. That was kind of slow, and I don't know why, because normally I get through that a lot faster. I have no clue what the hang-up was. Like, where did I miss rings? I may have missed one of those, like, bells that you have to hit. Like, I didn't have enough speed going into it or something. Oh, that's a C. That's... yeah, not great. Again, normally I finish that stage, like, way faster.
Commander! Comm Sector B3 are reporting that the black aliens have successfully been driven out of Westopolis. We've contained them in the forest, and they're completely cut off from the rest of their support.
Well done, Captain. What about Shadow?
Sir, we think Shadow escaped into the forest with the black aliens.
Alert all field commanders in Sector B. I'm authorizing full use of all tactical weapons. I want both black aliens and Shadow stopped and buried. Failure is not an option.
Yes, sir.
It's over, Shadow. You'll finally be exposed and eradicated for the evil that you are.
I forgot there wasn't a cutscene for this stage. It's also weird to think that the gun commander has a name now. That was like a surprise watching the Shadow shorts. It's like, oh yeah, he actually has an actual character name instead of just gun commander, which is basically what they call them from like this game onwards for the longest time. Alrighty, so we have to fight 50 enemies here, which should be not too bad, hopefully. You're more used to hearing Roger Sonic because you played more games he's in. Yeah, that's also fair. I feel like that's also a recurring issue. It's like the Pokemon syndrome, where it's like people's favorite Pokemon game is almost always the one they play first, which is just why there's always like a generation... What just happened? Just despawned for some reason. But yeah, why there's like a generational shift sometimes between like one game being really popular for and like after a bit, because like the fans of that game who were like kids when they grew up playing it are like older now. Nice to see Rouge with a non-jank model in this game. The weird part is, I got looking at this character model, and it's basically just the Adventure 2 model, but like purple instead of like the black portions of the outfit. Kathleen Delaney, I think, is the voice actress for Rouge. Again, I grew up with like Sonic X though, so that's why I think I have an affinity for a lot of this cast. Some of the voice actors I never was a big fan of, unfortunately. Like, a lot of it does come down to voice direction. So yeah, this game is well made sometimes. If you don't actually grind on this rail at full speed, you will get clipped by that gun beetle every time. I forgot which rail it was, so that's on me. There we go. Yeah, the SA2 Rouge model is pretty alright. Yeah, the other actress is later. That's the, what the current dub is, basically. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Again, Sonic games often have these, like, beginner's trap moments where it's like, how are you supposed to know you're supposed to go full speed on that rail, or else you'll die? Like, there's nothing to indicate that. So you just kind of go in and immediately die, and then it's like, oh, well, I've learned my lesson, but, like, that's really weird game design. I saw a life down here. I'm gonna grab it just because I don't trust the next stage. The next stage is, like, considered the worst in the game, almost universally, I would say. This is a problem. I can't, like, flip over this panel because then I destroy the gun robots and then Rouge will be mad at me. Though more realistically, it will hurt my score more. So I'm trying to be very careful, but again, there's no, like, manual aiming. It's, like, all auto-aim. So it's, like, having to position. It's one robot. I generally... Oh, shoot. You know what? Why do I care? I'm not gonna get a good rank on this stage anyway, with how much, like, I keep dying. Yeah, the arc stage is, like, the worst stage. Yeah, that really shot up the dark score, actually, which also makes a difference because I keep dying and thus losing all my hero score. Okay, I'm not gonna homing attack these guys. I'm just gonna use the weapons as the game intended, because clearly weapons are a bad choice for certain constrained areas. Yeah, the arc stages are both kind of confusing, actually. The Dark Path one isn't as bad, I'd say. Okay, that works. I couldn't remember if there's anything in here, so I wanted to double back, and it's a good thing we did, because those enemies... Alright, so far so good. We're missing 15 so far, but we should be on target for everything. Oh, heard an audio cue. Good thing I was, like, not talking in that moment, because we would have had trouble otherwise. So yeah, just proceeding very gingerly through this area, because I don't want to miss anything. Again, the worst part in this game is if you miss something and have to double back, and just scour the entire stage trying to find the one thing you're missing. That also counts for dark score for some reason. That kind of sucks, because you automatically have to lose points, basically. We also don't have enough ammo for this, I don't think. Never mind, we definitely do, because we have infinite ammo. Any more? Or we get to slide down the rest of the way? It looks like we are. I thought this was the end of the stage, which might be a problem, potentially, if we are missing one. Yeah, that's a problem, I think. Unless... I have an idea, I'm gonna go back. Well, that's one way to go back, I suppose.
One more.
This'll just take 3. Get him!
So yeah, this game can be a little bit frustrating. I almost feel like the hero mode is harder than the dark mode, but then Central City also is, like, annoyingly difficult, so... especially the hero stage of Central City is, like, really difficult, actually, because of just trying to find all the bombs and the time limit. Yeah, my theory is the last enemy was one of these worms, and it just went underground at the worst possible time. This is a little bit overkill, but, I mean, it'll get the job done for sure.
Hang on to the bar and take out.
See, like, I could have sworn we were at 44 here last time, which means I probably missed one again. Okay, so the shields just make the rockets go through. That makes sense. So yeah, if we're having this much trouble on this stage, I'm very nervous about the next stage. I had no rings. Shot with a big gun. Yeah, it's a bazooka in this case. It's very, like... fascinating to see, like, weapons bigger than him, and then they're, like, clipping through the ground and everything.
Almost there.
Well, at least... Or maybe I did take morality damage for that one. Morality damage, that's not really, like, the best way to put it, I would say, but...
Destroy them.
Yeah, normally this isn't the stage I have trouble with, so, like, what's gonna happen with the stage I do normally have trouble with at this point?
Make sure you get the ones with limits.
So at least we're on track here.
Hang on to the bar and take out the aliens as you climb down.
But we still have the problem of where's the last one? Because I think this is the final area we need to be in, so I missed one early in the stage. So again, this is why I'm hesitating to say we're doing more games after this, because I had a bad feeling that the game would be like this today. Not saying it's the game's fault that I missed an enemy, but just this game is annoying in the regard of just having like a needle in a haystack at a point. Also, hi Finn, welcome to the stream. Alright, so this should take us to the goal ring, I think. But we have to go back. Yeah, this is the fun part of Shadow the Hedgehog. We have to like manually check every point just to make sure, because it could be anywhere. Because I don't have the stage memorized to the point of knowing which areas I'm most likely to have missed something. So we just have to go through the entire stage a second time, essentially. And we've already gone through it multiple times due to dying over and over. Oh, there it is. Weird. I thought I got that one. Well, at least it was early in the stage, so I didn't, like, lose too much time, but that still sucks. That's gonna be like a D rank because of dying so close to the end, I'm pretty sure. Now we get, like, the funniest cutscene in the game, but also the worst stage in the game. Okay, that's generous. So, you know, ups and downs coming up here. No, wait, we have a boss first. A weird boss, because we already fight this one in the hero story.
Having a little trouble with those gun agents, are we?
What a pitiful bunch.
What'd you say?
We're not here to exterminate these poor creatures. On the contrary.
What? What is he talking about?
What are you saying?
All will be revealed tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Shadow, you should rest. You need to be ready for tomorrow's ritual.
You scum! You're going down!
Show these fools your true strength.
Oddly enough, I find this easier than the first Black Bull fight, because he doesn't move around. So we can just kind of stay in one place and fire. That's supposed to be Ivy, apparently. Good to know. I'm just farming weapons at this point, because we need a lot. Yeah, oddly enough, I'm like relatively okay with this one for some reason. For whatever reason, I don't actually mind this one. So I just gotta like jump off the rail and do this a bunch. There we go. If you try to fight these bosses without weapons, they're like miserable though. And I think that's a fundamental failing of Shadow the Hedgehog in a way, that it's not adaptable to other playstyles. If you want to play like a traditional Sonic game, you can defeat the boss without guns. It will just take forever. They really expect you to use like guns for bosses. And I think they should have been made a little bit more adaptable for other playstyles, personally. But that's just kind of how I like approach game design, like how I envision game design.
What's up, Shadow?
Not you again.
Nice to see you too. Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
Ark.
Come on, let's roll. Next stop, the Ark.
A Chaos Emerald? You've got to be kidding me, guys. This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
Shadow, help me!
Maria?
Please, Shadow, I need your help. My grandfather's experiments. Something's gone horribly wrong.
What is it?
The research lab, it's going to be destroyed. Something must be done. Please, Shadow, I beg you, help Grandfather and those aboard the Ark. Please!
I'll be there, Maria. I swear, whatever it takes, I'll take care of the Ark and the Professor.
Reminder, this is the true hero story, where he's like, stealing is a good thing. So I always thought that was an interesting choice to put this in the true hero path, and not like the neutral hero path. So this stage sucks. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. This is like awful. We have this labyrinth of a stage, and we have to find 35 artificial chaos. For this stage alone, I would say Shadow Reloaded is probably a good choice, because one of the things that mod does, from what I gather, is reduce a lot of the requirements for these like defeat enemy stages. So like not having to find all of them would definitely help a lot. I don't know what they changed the requirement to though, in all fairness, so I can't vouch for that much if it actually like makes the stage a lot more doable. But again, it is a good thing to keep in mind that there is a fan fix, essentially, for a lot of the problems. And yeah, supposedly the physics are also tightened up quite a bit, which is a good thing, because this game is notoriously slidey. But I personally haven't played it, because for this playthrough I wanted the true Shadow the Hedgehog experience, for better or worse. Good song, terrible stage. See, like, for me, I don't even know the song in the stage. Unartificials or chaos. That'd just be releasing a god into the world again. Again, I was gonna say that, and it's like, wait a minute, that already happened. Also, yes, you can play as Maria in this stage if you're the player 2. Like, in the player 2 slot. You can straight up play as Maria. Which is like, the only time I think ever is like you ever get to play as like, probably one of the only times you get to play as a human in this series, actually. Yeah, you're here for like half an hour, which means I think I just kind of dissociate after a bit, and thus I don't remember the song like at all, because I just tune out the song entirely at a certain point. See, I'm now just thinking of the fandom. I'm trapped in the building again. This is literally that quote personified into a stage, basically. Because it's like, yeah, we're gonna be stuck here for a bit. We got a map here. Are we getting a playable Maria mod for SA2? That's a very good question, actually, and I'm almost surprised that's never happened. It's like, if you can play as, like, Eggman without a mech, I wouldn't be shocked if you could, like, retool that into Maria, just change the hitbox to be closer to another character. You know, if I was smart, I would have looked up a guide to tell me how many artificial chaos I should have going into each area, but I forgot because I was running late. So, and I also make very good life choices. Yeah, give Maria a gun. Why not at this point? Also, speaking of which, we're at 6 now, so I hope that's all of them in the previous area. Also, that gun beetle was in a very bad spot. I do not blame that on myself, because it just happened to be standing there, or, well, floating there. So, like, you have these little break areas where there's, like, nothing else around. Yeah, I'm really interested in the Sonic movie, but I'm also, like, not a fan of the movies, to be blunt. And again, it's just a personal preference thing. Yeah, like Maria having to, like, not put up with the gun soldiers shit anymore. She has had it. Alright, you can also speed this up with A, but I don't know if I recommend doing that, especially on the first playthrough. Also, I want to say there's, like, one behind the platform at some point, but I don't know if I'm just paranoid and misremembering, because it's been, like, a long time. And by a long time, I mean, like, a month ago, but I also have played a lot of other games since. Alright, so we are a third of the way there. I am not going to hit that checkpoint, actually. I am going to take out the other artificial chaos in this area, and then hit the checkpoint. Because I think that will be a lot smarter, and will mean we have to redo... We don't have to redo as much. Again, this is just another example of a stage where it's like, if you don't want to use guns, these are so, like, spongy that they just take forever. And ones like this where you have to, like, climb up the pole every time, that's just kind of miserable. So, again, flexibility in how you actually deal with combat would be a change I would like to see with a game like this. Not to say that every game needs to have, like, multiple solutions to a problem, but I do feel like it is deliberately designed in such a way that is not, like, playable like a, you know, quote-unquote traditional Sonic game, which is definitely a choice. Alright, we came from the platform. This should probably just take us to a key or something. Nothing pivotal. Or guns, that works too. Why do they have, like, large fans that work to push you onto the platform you're supposed to be standing on? It feels like very, like, specific design. Wait, this is a dead end. I'm free to hit that, I guess. Again, the song is nice, fits the mood very well, and again, I swear by, Shadow's having a really- oh god, that's a problem. I'm gonna double back, I think. They probably despawned though, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like everything despawned, so I don't know entirely how to proceed here, unless I just go, like, the intended way a little bit and then double back. The other mission kind of sucks, to be honest. The Doom, I think is the name of it, where you basically have to, like, heal a bunch of wounded soldiers, but you have to, like, pick up these capsules and throw them at the wounded soldiers. It's really unwieldy and, like, impractical. Oh wow, the draw distance is so bad, which doesn't help. So we have a very scary triangle jump here.
Damn.
Or Shadow can just plummet, that works too, I suppose. He did not get full distance on that for some reason, he just fell. So yeah, that happens sometimes. Shadow will just kinda not do a horizontal jump, he'll basically go slightly downwards, which just means you die most of the time if it happens at the wrong spot. So what I needed to actually do was wall run to be closer to the edge before actually doing that. But again, it's something that, like, how are you supposed to know about that if you haven't ever played this game before? And also because the triangle jump in Heroes does not work that way, which honestly makes it better in my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna, like, run, we're not gonna, like, jump across. Okay, this is just for dynamite, I guess. I suppose you could use the dynamite to get rid of the artificial chaos. I also underestimate how long Shadow can actually stick to the wall because he's designed to wall run in this. That would also have been good to keep in mind, but I forgot. So yeah, we are 6 minutes in, and technically longer because I had a death. Note to self, never follow the path with rings in this stage, because that almost always leads to, like, secrets or something. Like, the ring path is always, like, the intended route, pretty much. But also, like, asset reuse is really fascinating in this game, because it basically leads to a situation that kind of feels like zones. What I mean by that is, like, you know, older Sonic games usually have, like, multiple zones, or, like, multiple acts in each zone. And that's kind of like what Shadow does, but the zones are, like, split up between, like, different routes. So, like, instead of having this stage and the Doom as, like, a zone, they're, like, on totally opposite, like, story branches at that. Which gives it a very different, like, feel to it. The only theme that doesn't really have an analogous, like, second stage would probably be the haunted level and, like, the circus level. I was like, I know there's another one I'm thinking of, but, like, there's two comet stages I guess there's nothing quite like the gun fortress, but I guess you could hypothetically, like, say that Air Fleet kind of works, like gun-themed facility stages. And like you have 2 city stages with Westopolis and Lethal Highway. Yeah, Maria can just teleport back to you if necessary. So maybe she's the most powerful life form. Since I'm just losing my mind in this facility, I guess I should talk about the shorts a little bit. I have seen all 3, including the bonus ending on the like combined cut of all of them, and overall I really like the Dark Beginnings animations. If I had any complaint about them, it's just like, I kind of feel like the first one was like very emotion heavy, and then the others were very action heavy in a way that makes sense for, you know, Sonic and everything. But I kind of feel like, in a way, I had wished we had gotten more, like, emotional moments with Shadow and Maria, because that was my favorite part of Episode 1. But also the action is very well animated in the shorts, so, like, this is, like, a very small complaint at that. Yeah, personally, it's, like, the quiet moments were my preferred parts of the shorts, oddly enough. It's almost this case of when you have a franchise, it's, like, all, like, you know, forward momentum and going fast, like having like a quiet moment almost like stands out more in a way. Weird thing, these asteroids actually count as dark points, which means you have to get some dark score or just tank a hit. So yeah, we will be firing at these at the very least to avoid taking damage. We have 11 left. I swear I can do math. Jump scare. That Maria reacts very late to, for some reason. And yeah, this is the one where I'm like, okay, if there's a checkpoint, maybe don't hit it right away. Maybe leave it for later, just because, actually, this is a dead end again, so we're making forward progress. Kinda cute is, like, subjective. I guess they kinda are. I mean, you know, Chaos and Chao are kinda related. Sorta. But in general, I just have so much, like, bad memories of the stage. I kind of resent Artificial Chaos in general, I feel. Again, kid me would spend, like, literally half an hour to 45 minutes on this one stage alone, just because of how maze-like it is. Now, Chaos Zero is cute, too. I was gonna say something, and I'm like, should I say this? Should I go there? Because it's like, knowing my friends, I'm not entirely sure the answers I'll get if I ask the question I'm thinking about asking. But it's like, I feel like I just randomly had the thought of like a smash or pass, but of the various chaos forms, and it's like, I don't know where my brain goes sometimes. Alright, gonna leave the checkpoint, and we're gonna explore a bit more for now. Yeah, the :3 in chat is very, like, telling. There's just a gun soldier chilling in the corner for some reason. Like, I don't know why they're over here, but hey, more power to them. Okay, I'm now facing a situation where I'm just being stubborn, because I see there's like a ledge, and I'm like, is there anything up there? And like, I'm gonna get up there, and there's gonna be nothing there, because I know my luck. It just feels like there's something up there. It also doesn't look like it's entirely loaded in, so maybe you're not supposed to go up there. On my own time, I would probably spend a lot of time just jumping into that. Do not hit the goal ring, otherwise I'll have to do the entire story path all over again. But yeah, there's a reason I like to go through, whatever the, neutral stage equivalent of this would be. Something Gadget, I want to say. I want to say Crazy Gadget, but that's Sonic Adventure, too. But there's, like, whatever the, like, one way you race Sonic, like, if I'm just playing this game on my own time, I'm doing that stage instead of this, just to save myself time, and also just, again, because I feel like Shadow being like, talking about taking candy from babies is really weird for the true hero path. It is just always something that's stood out. Is falling out of bounds common in a Sonic game? Absolutely. One of my earliest childhood memories of raging at a game, and I was like legitimately pissed off about this too. I was playing Sonic Adventure 1, specifically DX, which should answer all questions of how did this happen, because DX is notoriously broken. But I was just walking around Station Square, I was playing as Tails, it's a very vivid memory, and I just fall out of bounds for no reason. And I got really mad at that, to the point where I think I ended up selling that copy of the game. It was on GameCube. But I just got like really fed up with the game, because it's like, this is stupid. Like, you just kind of like clip out bounds at the like smallest thing in these older Sonic games, but then I found out, oh yeah, DX is also just bad, because like a lot of times when they remake Sonic games, like from scratch, they end up just collecting all sorts of bugs, which is kind of a problem with ports. Something that gets like overestimated a lot with like, you know, people always are like, they could make so much money if they just plopped like, you know, Ratchet and Clank on PS4. And while I would also love to see Ratchet and Clank on PS4, I also fully acknowledge that it's a very like non-technical and also like almost downplayingly simple way to describe the porting process, because like the Ratchet games in particular are like notoriously, you know, held together with like duct tape and like a piece of gum. It's like they worked some serious magic to get those games as good as they are. And even like through emulation, those always had problems for a long time. So yeah, it's really like, I almost do feel like porting is trivialized to an extent, in terms of like how people talk about the process of doing so. Yeah, they basically broke the lighting system and also retextured everything to be like worse. Oh. Huh? We looped, actually. What happened? Like, is that supposed to happen? I'm like very confused. Yeah, that's the thing that's confusing me the most, is where's the checkpoint I'm missing? That's the part that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's there. It's just in the corner. So at least we can save our progress, so we don't have to do everything over again. We basically just have to find the one, instead of having to redo everything. But yeah, this is ostensibly the end of the stage. Which means we have a problem. Oh, there it is. So we're finally free of the Ark. That only took 24 minutes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that is actually faster than I thought it would be.
As I promised you, Maria, I will.
Can't even really complain about that, because I had a feeling we'd run into a situation like that. That's kind of... I'm amazed. I thought that would be an E, just because we spent half an hour on it, practically.
Maria!
Please, Shadow. I need your help. Everyone's fate depends on you.
Maria!
Maria.
Shadow, look! Up there!
Huh? What is that?
Once every 50 years, that black comet passes by this planet. Oh, do you think those black creatures are somehow connected with that comet?
Black Shadow, what's wrong?
I think you're right. I feel it. They're up there. That's where the answers are. I've got to get to that comet.
I find it very fascinating how much Sonic fans have latched onto the concept of Maria dying as like a hype moment in the franchise. Like people were talking about how much they're looking forward to Maria getting shot in the Sonic movie 3, and it's like, that probably looks really bad out of context for Sonic fans. Also, like, who knows what will happen in Shadow Generations, to be honest. Yeah, this is the final stage. I forgot the name of this one. Final Haunt. It's funny that this song, despite taking place in an alien comet, is actually very chipper, and I think it's actually a really good touch. Yeah, Sonic fans can't wait for the terminally ill girl to be violently shot. It's like, yeah, maybe the enthusiasm is kind of like dark humor, a little bit. I remember seeing a clip of like the Sonic Orchestra or like Sonic Symphony where they're cheering at that scene being played at one point. It's like, I wonder how this looks to non-Sonic fans. If that just makes Sonic fans look really messed up. Why didn't that take damage? Oh. I guess him holding his hand up is enough to block laser bolts. That makes sense. Yeah, Sonic in this game just kind of plays like Sonic normally would. Like, he's got a homing attack and everything. So if you play player 2 as, like, Sonic here, it's actually not that bad. Actually, heck it, we might as well. This is just to get to the end stage. I might as well cast Control. There's also not going to be much in the way of, like, dark points, because we're in the alien comet. Therefore, there's not going to be a lot of other targets to get. There's definitely a case where it's like, trying to actually do the dark mission is kind of difficult, actually. Just because there's not much to farm points off of. As much as it... Wait, that actually gives you dark points, breaking the environment, which doesn't make any sense, to be honest, because, like, isn't that a good thing that we're smashing up their technology? So yeah, there's also like an infinite vacuum gun too, for like beating the game on one of the story modes. I forget which path it's for. These shots also bounce, which can be very bad for points, because you can accidentally cause friendly fire in some cases. It's because vandalism, that's vandalism, and vandalism is a crime, and crime is no good, but also Shadow was talking about stealing candy from babies, like, half an hour ago. Alright. Very slowly okay, game. I see how it is. I don't need to see. What was I even talking about? The camera totally threw me for a loop there. You don't know that baby could... Yeah, the baby could have been, like, totally evil. Oh, I'm very low to the ground. I don't like that. Alright, I'll just move on. I don't like fighting these. I'm just like, I'm tired of this. Actually, heck it, let's cast Control again. Why not? It's also going to be really bad because I haven't hit a checkpoint in this stage, like, at all. Meaning if we die, we have to redo the entire stage. So maybe this isn't a good plan. Like, maybe this is actually a very bad idea. So yeah, I am looking forward to Shadow... Oh, I almost just ran off the edge there. I am looking forward to Shadow Generations, but again, I have no clue when I'll actually get around to it. At this point, I've already seen some leaks about it, because I'm like, I'm not getting the Game Day 1 anyway, I'm going to get spoiled, because Sonic fans are just like that with things. Like, I was seeing a lot of Frontier spoilers long before I got to that point, and I played the Game Day 1. In general, though, I kind of think Shadow Generations has the potential to be one of the best Sonic games in a long time. Hi, welcome to the stream, and yeah, it's actually been a pretty good time playing through this game. Again, a lot better than I remember it being, but it could also just be me getting better at games, in general. Okay, it doesn't work on those enemies, I should have figured, but worth a try, I suppose. My favorite Sonic game is a toss-up. I always go back and forth all the time on what my favorite is. I'm like this with like every franchise that has had a switch to 3D. But I almost always divide up by era. So like, instead of just saying like, this is my favorite Sonic game, period, I tend to say like, this is my favorite 2D, this is my favorite 3D. So I think my favorite 2D is like Mania in some ways. But I've also burnt out on Mania. I literally played the game like with every character combo. So I kind of burnt out a little bit, unfortunately. Not to say that Mania is a bad game, and me playing it like 10 times, including Encore mode, and yeah, doing the story mode again as like Mighty and Ray, and like Knuckles, Tails, Sonic, and Sonic and Tails together. So that's a lot of playthroughs, and then a ton of playthroughs on my own time. So I've also just kind of burnt out on it. I've told this story before. I think I was in a different stream though, but I'm the same way with the Insomniac Spider-Man. I have played that game like 7 or 8 times, and thus I love the game. I'm also a little bit sick of it. Though, meanwhile, I'm also over here being like, maybe I should stream the Insomniac Spider-Man games, because that'll get me an excuse to actually like pick up Sonic, or to pick up Spider-Man 2 finally, because I actually don't even own Spider-Man 2. I don't even have a PlayStation, but it just kind of always slipped my mind. Or we can just cast control through it, which is way faster. This should actually be close to the end of the stage, I'm pretty sure. Miles Morales as well. I have played that, and I actually kind of like it better from a gameplay perspective, but the story is undercooked for Miles. That's my biggest issue, is like every Insomniac Spider-Man game feels like the story is like getting worse, but the gameplay is getting better. So like, that's kind of why I never picked up Sonic, or picked up Spider-Man 2. It's just, the story felt kind of like underbaked, and I was kind of hoping for like DLC, or like a expansion for it. Because the first game did get DLC. Whether they'll do that again, we don't know yet. We're not supposed to know, but there may be inclinations that things may happen. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to go into details about like the leak last year. Sonic Heroes is a good choice. For 2D, it's usually Mania, but again, I almost like 3 and Knuckles just because of Burnout. I also like Sonic 2 a lot. That was like my childhood Sonic game. I say when I had the Mega Collection, but I always did end up playing Sonic 2 the most out of that collection, because I like Tails. Also, the other like cardinal sin of Spider-Man 2 is spoilers for Spider-Man 2, I suppose. This is not a big spoiler. But there's a plot where Kraven is like killing villains off screen and collecting trophies. So like one of the like worst decisions the game made is they kill off Shocker off screen, so you can't have a recreation of the 90s cartoon, which is like, everyone was like, I really hope they have like Shocker in this game, so you'll have like Yuri Lowenthal just screaming at Shocker. Because that'd be amazing. And then the discovery, like, oh yeah, he got killed off screen. It's like, that just kind of sucks, actually. So yeah, that's like one of the worst things that, in my opinion, that this game does. Slightly facetiously, slightly seriously. But, you know, there was a bit of a jokey component to that. But there's also some seriousness from the perspective of a lot of Spider-Man 2 feels kind of rushed in terms of, yeah, getting rid of like villains off screen and stuff. Just kind of trimming down the rogues gallery in a way that feels a little bit anticlimactic after the first game, I suppose. Hi, Alpha. Thank you for the follow. And with that, we have made it to the end of the hero story. Somehow took less time than I thought it would, despite also spending half an hour on Lost Impact.
At last, Black Doom. You're the one responsible for all this villainy.
Alright, so we have to fight Black Doom again. I don't remember if this is a bad fight or not. Some of them don't give you enough weapons to really fight him adequately. That seems to be more of an issue for Sonic, though. The Diabolon fight.
You've done well, Shadow. I'm very impressed you've made it this far.
Black Doom, your rule ends here, and it ends now.
So you're behind all this. Like it or not, the game's over.
Fools. The Black Arms are more than superior. We are perfect. Do you really think you have any real chance of defeating us?
It's you who should be scared, Black Doom. I made a promise to Maria to save the planet she loved so much, and I will!
Then get ready to die. Let me show you the ultimate power in the universe. Now I will show you just how pitiful you inferior life forms are.
This is it! Let's end this once and for all!
Do you ever wonder how Sean Schemmel still has like functional vocal cords after like voicing characters like Black Doom and also all the screaming necessary for Dragon Ball? Like, damn, that's some like... That's very impressive actually. As someone who definitely feels like my voice dies after a 2-hour stream of speaking like... We're trying to speak normally. Cords of steel, basically.
You could hit him with a homing attack.
Yeah, it's a very pretty necklace. I've always thought that. It's like really fascinating to me because I always wondered if like the necklace had some connection to the Chaos Emeralds, because a lot of them kind of have similar like colors, not entirely, but it was always something that caught my eye. It's like, I wonder if there's some connection between him and the Emeralds, and then the game never really does anything with that. Hey, maybe they will in Shadow Generations, because Ian Flynn likes a lot of callbacks in his writing. Though then again, that's also partly on Sega, I'd say, for like some of the decisions made for this franchise. I still need to read the comics, to be honest. I always hear a really good thing about the IDW run, but I'm not much of a reader, to be honest. 8 shots left. That's not ideal, I'd say. Okay, those do not shield you from damage. Good to know. Also good to know.
Behold the ultimate power!
Might as well just do this. Like, I have infinite ammo. I might as well just be ready to catch him at the moment he drops his guard. Again, this fight's really easy because they give you, like, really good guns. A lot of the other ones are like, here's a handgun with 10 ammo. Like, figure out how to fight the boss. It's like, thanks. No clue how I'm supposed to A-rank this. Yeah, that's actually really impressive that you, for Alpha and chat, that you got all A-ranks, because I've never done that. Partly because I'm not that good at the game, and we've run into a lot of issues in this playthrough, in all fairness.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow. This isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
Let's do this!
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and I made a promise that I intend to keep. With the power of these emeralds, Black Doom and his army are finished. This is who I am.
So, guess what? None of this mattered, in a way. You S-ranked 06 on 316 Heroes. I've also gotten 100% on Heroes, but for me it was actually on an old account from a prior gender, shall we say. So I'm I have to buy an adapter or another controller because my 360 controller just died. The final thing I ever did with that 360 controller was buying Third Strike Online. And literally lasted just enough time to buy that game before the 360 store closed. And then the battery immediately like disconnected, and like even if I put in fresh batteries, the actual connection is broken. But I thought about picking up like a brick adapter or something to run like a, you know, a different kind of controller to 360 and then 100% 06 again. Actually, the Sonic Heroes playthrough was only like a couple weeks ago. I did do a stream playthrough of that a little bit ago as well. Basically, I also did Adventure 2 because I've been really inspired because of all the Shadow content that we're getting this year. I don't know why I'm letting the credits play, actually, considering that we'll be seeing them again in like a few moments. All Hail Shadow is a really interesting song because like the original never comes up anymore. If they use it in a game, it's almost always the Crush 480 version.